Tickets. Tickets, please.
Your soul.
Step inside. Take a ride upon the Terror Train. All aboard, be fair warned. These rails house fear and pain. Find a seat, don't mind the heat. Just pray the lights stay on. Upon these rails, these bloody rails, in darkness lies no dawn. Yes, step inside, come crawl or glide. With us you shall remain. Upon this ride, this hellish ride, we call the Terror Train. Ticket, please. James Ward Kirk Publications presents Terror Train. Episode 119, Colorado to Oregon.
Welcome aboard. Welcome to my home. I am the disembodied voice, your ghost host, so to speak. Call me Terror. Welcome to my train. Be you dead, undead, or of the living. Tonight, yes, Wynn boards my terrifying train in exchange for his mortal soul. Yes tells the tale of a man trapped within the confines of an recurring dream. Set upon a train draped in eerie shadows. You like shadows, do you, Mr. Wynn? Here upon my train, they are alive and awaiting your arrival. That's right. Step into the mist. A bloody ticket is handed to our conductor, which reads E.S. Wynn through the land of shadows.
Ticket, please. Through the Land of Shadows by E.S. Wynn. Whenever I close my eyes, I hear the rhythm of the rails. I hear the low, distant moan of the engine as it cries out in the endless night. When I dream only of the train, of the twisting, shadowy vistas it plies, the places that twist and stir with alien movement, with crimson eyes, thousands of them, staring like silent, hungry stars. I don't know when it started. I can't remember. Once, long ago, my nights were peaceful. Once, my dreams were calm, were nothing more ominous than lazy visions of pastel light and pleasure. Now, there is only darkness. Now, there is only the train. Even in the waking world, I hear it sometimes. I hear the creak of the carriage, feel the gentle rocking, find myself wondering if perhaps some part of me is still there, still rides the train. Every dream, every moment spent on that train blurs together into the next. Days, time spent in the waking world. Here, the minutes move reliably, follow the rhythm of the clock, of the sun and moon, and ever-burning stars. Days, time spent in the world where the train burns on, never stopping, never slowing. Each movement there feels like a second, like an eternity, like a mote of reality caught in a twisting ocean with no beginning, no end. Each dream, each night I spend dreaming, exists like a bouquet of moments mixed from a bag that contains every second of the train's long run. Sometimes I'm in my seat, trying to stare out the window at the shifting shadowscape just beyond. Sometimes I'm in the aisle, yelling, screaming, and every passenger haunting the seats of that car is staring at me with hollow skull eyes. Sometimes I'm in the club car, buying or imbibing strange cups of murky tea, offering the shadow behind the bar tiny strips of gold, peeled from the back of my mind. Memories. Whatever the tea is, I pay for it with memories. Other times, I find myself sitting at a table in that same club car. My hands are full of playing cards inscribed with strange symbols that shift as if cut from living shadow. The pictures offer no help, shimmer and stare, move as if trying to crawl off their cards. Yet, somehow, I know what they are, what they mean, how to play them. At the table, 3 men with faces that hang and flap, heavy and wet, wait for me to make my move. As I prepare to lay down my cards, my eyes linger on the pot. the kitty. More of those golden strips, some of them curling, some of them shining brilliantly. Memories. Sometimes my hand wins me a piece of the pie, a handful of memories I hurriedly stuff back into my mind. But more often than not, I lose them all. Everything that I bet. The men with the hanging faces devour the strips with greedy delight, and then the dream moves on. And there are times that I find myself in a carriage stuffed with rough sacks, packed with glittering gold. Tempting, yet not meant for me, I know, somehow. A man with rough, scaled skin and eyes like a fish watches me as I watch him. As my eyes linger among the sacks. Neither of us speaks, at least not in any recognizable form of language, though I get the distinct impression that something has passed between us, something meaningful, something that makes me turn, leave the car. Some nights, some memories caught in dream suspension, find me finishing, accepting, or staring at a half-finished meal of oily darkness. The hands that deliver it pass unseen. I never glimpse the face, the uniform, anything but the barest shuffle and slither of the one who brings me my meal. Even when I find myself in one of those moments, realize where I am, I'm never able to catch anything, to see anything but haze, more shadows. The meal itself feels fulfilling, each bite wrapping itself around my fork, slithering past my lips and down my throat, as if eager to be devoured. If there is an end or a beginning, if there is a destination to which this train is bound, or a place from which it hails, I have yet to see it. Something tells me that there is, that the train has only captured me in its passing from world to world, or universe to universe. But the convoluted nature of the way that time passes while I am aboard makes me wonder if I will ever see an end to the ride. Maybe I'll arrive eventually at the place where the train originally started. Perhaps my dream will be of the train pulling into some shadowy station, some twisted obsidian terminal point from which the gates of hell itself are visible. And maybe the train will continue on forever, a reflection, an echo crawling endlessly across the mirror of another universe, another reality with its own rules and freedoms, a reality where the ride never has to end. Maybe the train has already rolled on, already reached its destination, and what I am living while I sleep is only some shard of a memory, a vista of shadows that still haunts me even as I find myself wondering when, where, I might have taken a ride on that train. Only one thing seems certain to me. Soon, I will be gone. The doctors say that I am only days from death, and I can feel it. Sleep comes more and more often now, and with it, the dreams of the train. I can almost feel that dream train pulling at me, beckoning me to return there and never leave. Perhaps when I die, when I finally shuffle off this mortal coil, instead of slipping away to a grand and sweeping heaven of clouds, or a dark and fiery hell, I'll find myself riding the train through the bosom of eternity, a traveler through the land of shadow, patiently waiting for the engine to slow, to roll into whatever destination might await it. Might await us when time at last moves as it should, and the end of the line finally comes. Anything else, anything less, would come as a surprise to me now.
Our second passenger to board tonight's track is the poet, Lopez. Ah, yes. Good evening, Laurie. Step inside and join terror. Laurie's poem describes a train where travelers never return. In fact, this train appears to be disguised as none other than the Grim Reaper. Delightfully devilish was just enough horror to give you mortals. What do they call them? Ah, yes. Nightmares! A bloodied ticket is handed to our ever so eager conductor. It reads, Laurie R. Lopez, Death's Viper.
Ticket, please. Death's Viper by Lori R. Lopez. A wicked train curves through the hills, ominous death rattle reverberating, slithering across the distance, hauling the thick, sinuous coils and convoluted length of a snake, as I fidget with a case of nerves akin to an epileptic seizure of the blood, rattling the depth of me, clattering as loud and furious as the train hurtles iron rails, jarring, assaulting the tracks. I await the serpent's hissing advent, the chilling rasp of scales. Pacing, I pick fingernails to rags, shredded and uneven slivers raining, a compulsion, yet standing here in all of my neurotic apprehension, conviction, steeling my heart and spine, that it has to be done. I have to meet this train. When choice is removed, there is nothing but action and consequence. The train is close enough to feel its vibration. Anticipate the harsh shudder and scrape of brakes in a friction of sparks as it slides into the station. Skating, undulating, haloed by steam, cloaked by a moody Ophidian aura. No mystery aboard these cars. Their purpose is clear, the outcome certain. Dense and shocking, rolling in waves that soak me with the cold sweat of terror, while the friction and release of pressure heralds its bleak arrival. The seats and windows bear impressions of decay, a putrescent stench. Passengers locked within the throes of fate's rigors, gnarled by wither. I have dreaded such a moment, known it was coming for me. Yet there is never sufficient time to prepare, to accept. Time is an inadequate measure, a shoddy substitute for existence, marking and keeping score, ticking, always ticking off, each instant squandered, whether in achievement or simple pleasure, frittered or fraught with regret, struggling to decipher the meaning, and knowing makes it all the more intolerable, insufferable, inconsiderate. This train is the latest method, a civilized envoy, less gruesome, however imposing, reptilian. Death is at the controls, blowing the whistle when your time is up, sending a hooded reaper to conduct you in a precise, efficient manner, to peel you out of your reverie and ooze, stripping away the flesh to reveal a thin and sleek core, hollow yet durable. I have gripped this one-way ticket for several moons, a lifetime of last seconds, of striving to cram in one more, just one more glance, or breath, or chance. It could never be enough, and it would be so much easier to let go, without the hope that it was a mistake, a clerical error, some big misunderstanding, or that I could somehow change my destiny. I once loved trains and yearned to ride them off into the sunset on a grand adventure. That was before I beheld this beast, rearing, parting jaws to engulf me, tongue darting, fangs like quills, scrawling death sentences. You cannot shake your fist in its face, however outraged or indignant. Snakes have little mercy, no compassion. I brace for its bite, wincing. There is a line ahead of me. Too soon it will be my turn. Obedient yet complaining, writhing, kicking and screaming, just as I was born. Only this time absorbed, swallowed, drawn into its belly rather than expelled. A fat intestine that stretches rippling between past and future, constricting my present in a stranglehold. One at a time, the doomed are snatched, and I am next. This is it. I am paralyzed, hypnotized, unable to resist the fatal strike of death's viper.
Yes, our guests have taken their permanent seats. From New York to time infinite. Are you ready to join them? And perhaps another story will lure you. Choose a car, any car. For the time we had a permanent guest. As they tell their tales of horror at its best. Come, yes, join me. My name is Terror, who rides the rails eternally upon the Terror Train.
Survived this trek? No turning back. Dare resist, just try. Step back inside, we'll be your guide. So many ways to die. Upon this ride, nowhere to hide. With us, you shall remain. Upon this ride, this hellish ride, we call the Terror Train. Terror Train Podcast Episode 119, Colorado to Oregon. Produced by Krista Clark-Grabowski, David Schutz II, and Mary Genevieve Fortier. Podcast directed and arranged by David Schutz II. The conductor, your narrator, was created by and played by David Schutz II. Terror, the disembodied voice, was created by and played by Mary Genevieve Fortier. Terror Train Podcast opening and closing poems written by Mary Genevieve Fortier. Host segments dialogue for Terror, the disembodied voice, written by Mary Genevieve Fortier. Production music: The House of Leaves, Chase Pulse, The High, and The Voices by Kevin MacLeod, Incompetech.com. Featured works: Through the Land of Shadows, written by E.S. Wynn. Production music: Clean Soul, It Is Lost, Land of the Dead, Inner Sanctum, Gathering Darkness, Penumbra, and Day of Chaos by Kevin MacLeod, Incompetech.com. Death's Viper, written by Lori R. Lopez. Production music: Night of Chaos, Red Letter, and Medusa by Kevin MacLeod, Incompetech.com. Additional sound effects by AudioSoundClips.com. Podcast program edited by David Schutz II. The stories and poems presented in the Terror Train podcasts are all featured in the James Ward Kirk Publishing Anthology, Terror Train, which was edited by Krista Clark-Grabowski and A. Henry Keene. Cover art by Stephen Cooney. Content copyright 2014. Terror Train Podcast Episode 119, Colorado to Oregon. Copyright 2014.